In this week's video, we're going to talk about everything guest consultation related in the salon. My cat Kiwi's in the background. She's making a guest appearance to say hello. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Mandara Kisa, and I help new hairstylists bridge the gap between getting licensed to creating the hairstylist dream and journey dream that they enjoy. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified every single time I upload videos. I do upload my video content once a week. I upload every Monday at 9 a.m. so you definitely don't want to miss it. That noise you're hearing is me putting my lotion on. Gotta love that good old Victoria's Secret pink honey lotion or whatever. Anyway, without any further ado, let's just get right into the video. Okay, so guest consultation. First, before we talk about your guest consultation in the salon, I do want to just kind of give a brief overview about what a guest consultation is. Basically a brainstorming session where the guest tells you exactly what they want. They come in, they say, I want ombre, balayage type of highlights or whatever it is. And this gives you the opportunity to ask that guest a series of questions, including hair history, hair health, their home care, what they use on their hair on a daily basis, things like that. So in this video, we're gonna go through a couple of tips that I have here of what I believe that you should include in your guest consultation. This way, your guest is gonna be happy, you'll be happy, and you will give them that gorgeous, flawless finished result that they desire. So the first thing you want to think about in your guest consultation would be active listening. So active listening is you're basically listening to the guest's needs, and then you are paraphrasing and rephrasing what the guest says and kind of shooting it back to them, right? So the guest comes in, they say, I want balayage or I want ombre. So you're listening. Okay, to my understanding, you want balayage, you want an ombre. Do we know what level we want? In the consultation, you will ask them these types of questions. You can also bring out a swatch book to see, just to make sure you guys are both on the same page. Throughout active listening, you definitely want to listen and pay attention to their body language, because a lot of the times a guest will tell you they like a color or they like a cut. It won't necessarily tell you verbally, they will tell you with their body language. So for instance, if I am sitting forward and I'm engaged and I'm making complete eye contact, that shows you that I'm interested in the conversation, right? Or if I'm kind of leaned back, if I'm kind of like sitting with my arms crossed with my shoulders up kind of in like that, I look uncomfortable, right? So it's your job as a beauty professional to really hone in on those nonverbal and verbal cues, because that's going to help you establish a trusting foundation so that you can ensure that you and your guests are on the same page. So the next thing is definitely ask for pictures. So the guest comes in, they say they want, what's trending right now? They say they want like a smudge root highlight baby light thing going on. So that right there tells you they're gonna be in your chair like all day, which is fine, because listen, charge your worth though. But anyway, they come in, they say they show you a picture of baby lights. Definitely keep asking them for more pictures. Ask them for pictures that has close-ups so you can see exactly what this person wants and exactly the desired outcome that your guest wants. Also, you as the beauty pro can also pull up pictures yourself to say, hey, this picture looks similar to this picture. Are you thinking of a color that's a little bit more warm? Do you want a color a little more icy? I like to use Elsa as an example because everyone loves Disney, right? So I always say, like, do you want it icy like Elsa? Or do you want it more caramel like mine? Because my hair is more like, girl, it's all the way mixed up right now. Like, it was an ombre at one point, then it was highlights at one point, then it was some kind of balayage action going on. So if you're a stylist that has color in their hair, you can 100% use your hair as a kind of guide. If you have a client that's going dark to light, then if you have light hair, if you have like blonde hair or any type of lightener in your hair, you can 100% use your hair as an example, as sort of like a base starting point. Or like we mentioned earlier, a lot of or I want to say most salons, maybe every salon has color books, so you can show them. When I'm doing color, 100% of the time, every single time, guest shows me the picture, I show them a picture, use my hair as an example, and then I go right in that closet and I pick up the color book, open up the color book. And the color book is really important because you can physically get your guests to use their hand and touch the color book. And for some reason, when people touch things and they have like a tangible item in their hand, I feel like it kind of gets them to like reinforce in their head, like, okay, yes, I'm touching this color swatch, I want this particular color swatch. So definitely color books are our best friend when we're in a guest consultation for color, for sure. Another thing is ask for your guest's hair history. So definitely ask them if they've ever had chemicals in their hair. For instance, if they come in for a keratin treatment, ask them, have they had a keratin treatment before? If this client is coming in for a relaxer, virgin relaxer, or a relaxer retouch, ask them, well, obviously if it's a retouch, they've had a relaxer before, but if they're coming in for a curl reformation service, ask them, have they ever had a curl reformation before? And actually, this is really, really important. If a guest comes in and they want a soft curl reformation, which is basically a fancy word for Jerry curl, if they come in and they want that, if they have had a relaxer in their hair prior to them getting this soft curl reformation, because there's two very different chemicals in a relaxer and a soft curl reformation, those two chemicals combined will cause the hair to fall out, because you're dealing with sodium hydroxide in a relaxer and you're dealing with ammonium thioglycolate, I hope I said that word right, in most soft curl reformations. The only time that's going to be okay is if the guest has had a relaxer with ammonium thioglycolate, because then the two can be married. They can be in the same pod, they're fine. But a lot of the times the guest is not going to know exactly what chemical is in their hair. So to be on the safe side, if your guest comes in and they've had a relaxer before, I would suggest that they do not mix the two. So I hope that made sense. Definitely get your guest history. So the next thing you want to do is ask if your guest has allergies. Your guest is allergic to hair color or some type of chemical, or if they're allergic to, you don't know what they could be allergic to, certain ingredients in the shampoo that you're using. You definitely want to avoid your guests breaking out or being uncomfortable or any type of situations like that. So the best way you can avoid all of this is ask if they have allergies, if they've got a history of allergies. Maybe they're on allergy medication and things like that. This way you can basically ensure that you aren't going to hurt them. You can basically ensure that they have a really good guest experience. So in addition to the allergies, you can also check in with your client while you are servicing your client. So this is what I like to do, especially when I'm doing haircuts, particularly when I'm doing layers. So like if I'm just I'll take that back. I check in with my clients the most when I'm doing any type of haircut. It could be a guy's haircut, it could be a kid's haircut, especially with kids. I'm constantly checking in with the parent. But mostly, like if somebody comes in, like I will say, especially with layers, if they want a lot of layers, lots of movement going on, I'm going to be double checking, like, okay, so you want your first layer to start here, right? Say if the guest hair is this long, okay, so you want your first layer to start here, right? Then you want your second layer to go here, and then you want your last layer to be your longest length. I am constantly checking in. And on top of that, I always bring the first piece forward. So if I'm going to do a haircut with them, always bring the first piece forward and I stop like this and I show them in the mirror and I say, is that okay? You're gonna be right here, is that okay? And then they say yes, and then I cut. This way we're on the same exact page. So in your guest consultation, definitely check with them while you're giving them a haircut. It's totally okay to reiterate your guest consultation little by little while you're having a conversation with your guest. This way you can ensure 100% accuracy of your guest satisfaction. These are tips that have helped me significantly in my journey as a new hairstylist. Again, I just want to stress, I've only been working in the salon for about 2 months, going on 3 months, and it's super exciting. And these are little things that I've learned along the way. The next thing is paraphrasing. So we talked about it a little bit earlier when we talked about active listening. Sorry, there's a really cool bird outside of my window right now. He's gorgeous. Anyway, so we talked about it a little bit earlier when we talked about active listening. In addition to active listening, definitely paraphrasing. So when you're paraphrasing what someone is saying, the guest is going to give you exactly what they want. They're going to tell you exactly what they want. They come in, they say, I want red hair all around. And that's your perfect opportunity to answer to them and say, okay, what shade of red? Okay, have you ever had color before? Have you ever had chemicals? Blah, 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 blah. But if they come in and say, I want red, you say, okay, you want red. What kind of red do you want? And then they say, I want bright red. I want like Charlie Baltimore red. I know I'm like aging myself by saying that. Whatever. But if they say like, I want super clown red, like I want a fashion red, super bright, then you come in and say, okay, so you want a bright red, let's pull up some pictures. So as you can see, all of the consultation questions kind of bounce off of each other, and it's totally okay to paraphrase. I am obviously an extremely wordy person, so during my guest consultation, I like to sit them in the chair, have them look straight forward to the mirror, and then I like to stand right behind them while I'm looking in the mirror as well, and I'm touching their hair as they're talking to me. They tell me they want layers right here. I pull their hair forward and I say, okay, so, you know, you want your layers to start here, and then I tell them like, okay, it's going to be at your shoulder. Is that okay? It's going to be here. Is that okay? They give you the okay, then you cut. Same thing with hair color application. If this person wants an ombre and you're not sure of like where to start the ombre, this is where you ask them questions in your consultation. Hey, do you want your ombre to be very high? Do you want your ombre to be lower? Do you want more of a balayage feel? How much blonde do you want to see in this balayage? There's just so many questions. There's so many consultation questions that you can ask your guests, but definitely just make sure you can never ask too many questions, because you want to make sure that you and your guests are on the same page, okay? I actually really love when I go get my nails done and my nail tech is sitting in front of me and she's asking me a ton of questions about what I want. So I sit down. Perfect example, I think it was like last week, I got sparkly red nails for the holiday, for New Year's. So I sat down and I was like, I want red. And she's like, okay, well, what kind of red do you want? We have a variety of reds. Let me show you the nail book. She showed me the nail book and I was like, I didn't know what to pick. And I think she could tell that I was kind of like, and she's like, well, we have this sparkly red, we have this red, this is a matte red, this is a shiny red, this is more of like a red orange red, this is a deep red. And I was like, oh crap, this girl knows what she's talking about. And eventually I saw that she had like a couple sparkly red accents on her nails and I really liked it. So eventually I was like, you know what? Let's do that color because I really like how that looks on your nails, whatever. Anyway, long story short, if the guest, I'm like forgetting my point of what, I feel like that was like a tangent of some sort. But anyway, long story short, just paraphrase. They tell you they want something, paraphrase it. I came in, I said, I want red. She said, okay, to my understanding, you want red. Cool. These are the reds that we have. And then such is life, and all was well with the world because I got the red that I wanted. Anyway, in the same way, your guests will be thrilled and super happy. I guarantee you, you will get wonderful, wonderful results as long as you stay grounded in your consultation. The last thing that I have for you in consultation is honesty. You never want to over-deliver. You never want to over-promise and then under-deliver. So especially as a new hairstylist, this is something that I am navigating right now in my space of trying to get my technical skills up there because I'm still new. So if the guest comes in and they say they want this extravagant shag wolf cut type of thing, if you know that you do not have the technical skills that are needed to perform this shag, this wolf cut, whatever people call it these days, be honest with your guest. Hey, I'm not really well versed in this technique, but I can give you my version of this photo. Or hey, I don't think we should get that. Or if you feel like if you have somebody in your salon that is open and this girl knows how to do it, guess what? I'm gonna send the guest to her, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that the guest gets what the guest wants. But if everyone else is booked and the client's coming to you and they're wanting this shag, they're wanting these crazy layers, and you don't know how to do it, and you don't feel comfortable with doing it, there's nothing wrong with, number one, asking for help. But again, if everyone else is booked up and no one's able to help you, be honest with your guests. Tell them, hey, I'm not really comfortable with this type of cut. Honestly, 9 times out of 10, I've actually said that to guests in the past, and they've told me like, okay, like just do your remix of it. Like, they trust you. You're in a salon. It's a professional environment. They trust you. They're going to, honestly, like if I was the guest and my stylist was like, I don't really feel comfortable with that. Like, how about we do a remix? I would be like, okay, like whatever, go for it. Like, you're the professional. I trust you. Like, if you don't feel comfortable cutting these straight across bangs, then let's try something different. Let's try curtain bangs. Let's try something longer, or let's try a different color or whatever. Or maybe I go to a different stylist, who knows? But either way, be honest with your guests. Never over promise and under deliver. Always under promise and then over deliver. I hope that makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed these tips in this video in regards to guest consultation. Thank you so much for coming back, and thank you to all of my supporters. You have been absolutely amazing. I really appreciate you liking and watching my videos. This means so much to me. This tells me that you're enjoying this type of content. Please leave a comment down below in the comment section with any of your guest consultation questions that you may have during your guest consultation that you ask your guests. Please leave a comment down below. As a new hairstylist, how is everything going? How are you feeling in your new salon? I hope that you are doing well. And with that, I hope that you all are having a prosperous and blessed 2024. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.